somebody writing something down here?
Reading out. He's reading out from a papyrus with the text, the ritual text on, reading out over the ritual implements which were used at the funeral and standing on this small black, almost like a coffee table.
The papyrus is painted white, isn't it? Like?
Yeah. To just kind of give the kind of idea of pristine, shiny new whiteness. It's a new piece of papyrus.
Papyrus grew in abundance alongside the Nile, and someone worked out that by cutting it up, rolling it out and soaking it, interleaving it and then pressing it, you could produce something you could write on. The invention of writing in ancient Egypt was, of course, a boon for the accountants and managers and scribes, but it also made possible the world's first literature. One of Sennacherib's neighbours built up a small library of novellas, mythical stories, and even love songs.
The woman I love is on the other side. There's the river between our bodies. The river is high. It is the time of flood. And there's a crocodile lurking in the shallows. I step in. I brave the wave. Mr. Crocodile, you're just a mouse, and I can walk on water. It is the power of love.
Another literary genre which the ancient Egyptians seem to have instigated is the autobiography. Of course, theirs tended to be written in stone. Here, for example, a man named Ahmose tells how he worked his way up from nothing to become a fully paid-up member of the nouveau riche.
I grew up in the town of Neheb. My father was a soldier of the king. I took service as a soldier in his stead on the ship the Wild Bull in the time of Ahmose, when I was young and had not taken a wife. And I carried off a man as a living captive. I went down into the water, for he was captured on the city side, and crossed the water carrying him. When it was reported to the Royal Herald, I was rewarded with gold once more. I am grown infirm. I have reached old age. I rest in the tomb which I made myself, that I may let you know the favors which have come to me. I have been awarded gold 7 times in the presence of the entire land, and male and female slaves in like manner, and I have been vested with very many fields. The name of a valiant man resides in that which he has done.
Well, all very well for the valiant man, but what about the valiant woman? Well, I was surprised to learn that in ancient Egypt, women were legally on an equal footing with men. What's more, they could marry, they could get divorced, they could buy and sell property, and they were entitled to receive the same wages as men, something the modern world is still struggling to achieve. One text even warns men against blokish behaviour as a cause of domestic rows.
Do not control your wife in her house when you know she is efficient. Don't say to her, "Where is it? Get it," when she has put it in the right place. Let your eye observe in silence, then you recognize her skill. If a man desists from strife at home, it will never start.
In ancient Egypt, a balance between the sexes was all part of the balance of life in general. Here in Luxor, it's hot, often over 40 degrees centigrade, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. No wonder the ancient Egyptians needed the odd shower.
This is what an ancient Egyptian shower would have looked like. Of course, it's a bit of a classy one because it belonged to Ramesses III. But it's extraordinary to think that the Pharaoh Ramesses III actually stood on this spot and took a shower. And what would happen is his servants would stand on the walls and pour water at me. "Thank you, servant," then he would. And then after the shower, he'd dry himself on one of these. a nice fluffy towel. These things haven't changed in 3,000 years. I suppose it's a bit like us human beings, really. As the centuries roll by, we don't become cleverer or more moral or get bigger brains. I suppose it's quite comforting to think that, really, we're all just like fluffy towels, really. Hope he's finished it.
Freshly laundered, I return to my tailor to collect my brand new ancient Egyptian outfit.
There it goes.
Good then.
Well, do you want to try it on?
Well, better. We look a bit silly if we...
Yeah. If it didn't fit.
This is changing in here, is it?
Oh, yeah, why not?
Yeah, right, okay.
Oh, beautiful.
I have to keep my tummy in that.
Yeah. That should be fine.
It's nice to fit in a bit more with the local population.
Isn't it blending?
So that's going around there like that.
Oh, just the job.
Yeah. Oh, I can't quite get around to do it up there, but I think that'll be fine. Oh, sugar.
Thanks. So?
Very good. I always wear socks in Egypt. It's the cool and a good woolen sock. It's very necessary for the midday sun.
Well, I'm not exactly inside Senegem's skin, but at least I'm in his clothes. The one thing that Senegem would not be seen in public without is makeup. You see, makeup was an essential tool for the ordinary person 4,000 years ago. And again, there was equality amongst the sexes. Men wore makeup as well as women.
This brings me back to the strike of workers I mentioned earlier. It happened one day in 1170 BC. Some workers on a tomb in the Valley of the Kings went on strike because they ran out of makeup. They claimed they wanted more moisturising oil and clothes and vegetables and fish. The local bureaucrats tried to persuade them to go back to work, but no dice, and the workers held a peaceful sit-in here in this temple. Eventually they were offered a month's worth of supplies, but that still wasn't good enough, and they stuck the sit-in out until they were offered 2 months of makeup and food. So now, why did the men put this stuff on their eyes?
Well, it can be compared to kind of like American footballers who wear the black stripes under the eyes to sort of reduce the glare of the sun from the pitch. It's exactly the same in ancient Egypt. I mean, you know how warm it is here, how hot, and the sun blazing down on the desert, on the rocks. So for those outside undertaking manual labour, they would have needed something to very much reduce the glare of the sun. So it's kind of like ancient Egyptian sunglasses, really.
So on my face as a worker, I would have some moisturising oil.
Lots of moisturiser, yeah, all over your skin, possibly perfumed, and then the eyes made up.
Yeah. And it's very weird, isn't it? Think of these manual labourers going off to work with their sandwiches and their makeup box.
Absolutely.
But there is a picture of somebody doing it for somebody while he's on the job, isn't there?
Yeah, in the Tomb of the Workman Ippy, there's a scene of Ippy's colleagues hard at work, and then there's a guy going around actually applying this stuff to them as they're actually in the process of working.
So now, I mean, I would have been bald. I mean...
Well, the ancients used to shave the hair off or crop it very short to prevent head lice, which were very common when it was, you know, in hot, dry weather. That the wealthy certainly would have worn a wig, and so if we flatten your hair down now using a kind of gel, I mean, in the ancient times they used a mixture of resin or wax or fat. In fact, some of the ancient recipes say hedgehog fat was used to cure baldness.
Really?
And of course they used to dye their hair and their wigs with henna.
Oh, right, yeah.
In some of the excavations we've done, we found henna was used as a hair dye as early as 3,400 BC.
But to dye the wigs, not the hair.
They dyed both. Oh, that's lovely.
I hate to say this, Joe, but were wigs regarded as particularly attractive? Or anything?
Oh yeah, they weren't just items of status, but
right.
they were seen as very, very attractive.
right.
And there's one brilliant story where a man makes a very improper suggestion to a woman and said, put your wig on and let us spend an hour in bed. I mean, this was the height of impropriety.
A bit more like it. How did they put the perfume on in the old days?
Well, literally douse it all over
Really?
themselves. They'd rub it into their
I think
skin.
I'll douse it, yes, I think. Is that more phonic?
Very much. Oh, you smell beautiful.
Do I? Well, I know, I feel like a knight on the town. Shirking going on here. Back to work, please.
The protection offered by eye makeup was not simply practical, it was also mystical. You see, the eye, or to be precise, the Eye of Horus, possessed for the ancient Egyptians magical powers of protection against evil. You still see it today. But of course, the ancient Egyptians also took practical steps to protect themselves as well. Drugs and herbal medicines were on sale in every marketplace. In fact, the ancient Egyptians invented toothpaste, the first cough drops, breath fresheners, chewing gum, and deodorants. But even the Eye of Horus couldn't protect the ancients from the ever-present spectre of death, and children were especially vulnerable.
Come on out, visitor from the darkness, who crawls along with its nose and face on the back of its head. Have you come to kiss this child? I will not let you. Have you come to do it harm? I will not let you. I have made a potion to protect it from you, out of garlic, which is bad for you, from honey, which is sweet for the living and bitter for the dead.
Death in ancient Egypt was as much a business as it is today, and of course there was money to be made out of it. These women, for example, were professional mourners, and here they're training up their young apprentices to weep and wail and tear their hair. Archaeologists have also revealed sharp practice in the ancient Egyptian undertaking business. Mummies have been found stuffed with twigs and grass, even an old broom handle. But in any case, the ancients weren't all as confident in the afterlife as we may like to imagine. A blind harpist from 4,000 years ago warns us,
Party while you can, don't let up. Look, no man can ever take his goods with him. See, no one who goes ever comes back.
well, the great rulers have passed away. Their tombs have been robbed or rediscovered, their mummies unwrapped and the broom handles removed. The all-powerful pharaohs have been made public property. But perhaps the real immortality is to be found among ordinary men and women, living lives that have changed very little since the days of the pharaohs. Perhaps the hidden history of ancient Egypt has been here all along, under our noses. For the ancient Egyptians living here in Thebes, it was a small world, from the Nile to those mountains over there. And beyond was the desert, the other world, the dwelling of the dead. It wasn't that they were obsessed with death, it was just that death was their next-door neighbour, and they'd learned to live with it. Here's a favourite message from the living to the dead. May you spend millions of years, you lover of Thebes, with your face to the north wind and your eyes beholding happiness. And the dead also have a message for the living. Here's an ancient Egyptian's advice to us today. Be merry all your life. Toil no more than is required, nor cut short the time allotted to pleasure. Don't waste time on daily cares beyond providing for your household, and when wealth has come, follow your heart. Wealth does no good if you're glum. When they thought about the afterworld, they saw it as very much like this one. Because you see, for the ancient Egyptians, heaven was Egypt, and hell was to be anywhere else. I wonder how many people living today in Los Angeles or London could say the same.